Good day. This transmission has been called What Happens When You Sleep? Sweet Dreams. The idea is that there are many different levels of things going on while your body is at rest, and we will start at the level of the physical. So, of course, when you are tired, when you go to sleep, on the physical level, you are relaxing the body, de-stressing the body, allowing your mental facility and observations to sort of shut down in the outer direction, turn them inward, so they can allow you to process information from your experiences of the day, to allow you to reorganize your perspective on things, and of course, physiologically, to allow your body to repair, to heal itself in the deep delta sleeps. The idea of the cycles of 3 cycles per second to 7 cycles per second allows your body, allows your chemistry, allows your cellular nature to again regenerate, revitalize by tapping into deep reservoirs, deep reserves of energy, allowing the energy to build back up to a certain level. The idea again is this can be very healing, can allow things to come back into alignment on a cellular, atomic, and subatomic level by relaxing all of the output that you experience on your daily waking regimen. So physiologically, as you all know, it is very healthy, very aligning to relax, to rest, to de-stress, to give the body a chance to go back to its natural state as much as possible, and then to feel revitalized when you wake up in the morning. Now, on the astral level and on the mental level, you have the opportunity, as I said, to sort of re-look at everything that happened in the day, reorganize your thoughts, allow yourself to learn lessons, allow yourself to extract information from your experiences of the day, and on a broader level, from the mental reaching into the astral, allowing you to start recognizing connections to other things, how everything is interrelated in the experiences you've been having, to give you some insights into how you may be able to move forward in physical life, having more awareness and more understanding of associations and relationships between different events. This happens on that high mental, lower astral level as you are resting, as you are recuperating, as you are energizing. But then on the higher astral, there are many different things that are going on while you are asleep. Again, not only the noticing of different things that may have happened in your physical life, but also being able to go to what we call the template level reality, where you can examine the basic blueprints of your agreements in life, make certain adjustments as may befit the idea of the themes that you chose to explore, examine and consider new avenues, new pathways that might be more representative of who you truly are and your path of least resistance. The idea, of course, is that as you allow on the physical level more and more de-stressing and relaxation and more aligning of your belief systems, then the things that are going on that you're learning on the astral plane can more readily be incorporated into your physical consciousness, your physical personality when you wake up. This often is what happens when you do, in fact, allow yourself to wake up feeling very refreshed, very eager to get on with your day, very excited, feeling more calm, more certain, more confident. This is when you have a real alignment between what you're doing on the astral plane and what you allow yourself to absorb on the physical plane by having aligned your belief systems and let go of those beliefs that are negative or fear-based and don't serve you, that are no longer relevant for you. You feel a new surge of energy because now the pathway between the astral level and the physical level is clearer and allows more energy to flow in a more hyperconductive and superconductive way. And this again results in more energization when you wake up in the morning. But not only are you allowing yourself to look at your agreements and your alignments and your associations on the astral plane and make whatever adjustments are necessary there for you to move forward in your physical reality experience, there are other things going on at the same time when you go a little bit higher into the astral level. Many of you will be attending different kinds of classes, spirit classes, where you are learning many different kinds of things about your relationship in the creation of your physical reality experience, many different kinds of ideas of who you are as a greater being. Many different ways are shown to you and taught to you. Choices are given to you to make on that level. You are learning about yourself as a spirit in relation to physical reality. You are learning to make certain kinds of adjustments beyond the physical in your energy, in your consciousness, that may be, again, more beneficial for you when you allow yourself to wake up into your physical dream, so to speak. But again, the idea is that the more you can clear yourself of negative or fear-based beliefs, the more you will realize that this is going on the astral level, that you may be attending, for lack of a better term, seminars and classes that teach you things that could be more applicable in your physical lives, that would allow you to experience your physical reality in a much more joyful, much more creative and imaginative way. But you have to really clear that path on the physical level to allow the physical personality to be capable of absorbing what you're learning more clearly on the astral levels. Now, going a little bit higher, there are things on the higher astral or spirit levels that you may also be engaging in. You may be interacting with spirit guides and friends and your soul family on that level, exchanging information and ideas, exchanging experiences for each other in various ways that may be helpful to each being's personal experience, either in physical, astral, or spirit reality. Making decisions for what it is you are attempting to accomplish as a greater being, what it is you are learning on the soul level that can aid and assist you in moving forward in the future, not only in physical reality, but in spirit as well. You may also be interacting and practicing for other things you may do when you leave the physical reality, like perhaps being a spirit guide yourself, being trained in that way. You may be attempting to assist individuals who may be having a challenge in their death, who may be remaining in the lower astral realms, not disconnecting from physical reality in the way that would best serve them. So you may be practicing to help them to be a spirit guide and help them cross over in easier ways, in more joyful ways, to recognize they may have in fact passed on, which sometimes many spirits don't, based on their belief systems, to aid and assist them in becoming more of who they are from the spirit side, as well as those who may be inclined from the physical side to help those ghosts cross over as well. This used to be known as the idea of a spirit guide from the physical level, a spirit psychologist, so to speak, but has sort of devolved into this idea and misinterpretation of exorcism. So the idea really is that it used to be that spiritual psychologists from the physical side and spiritual psychologists from the spirit side could aid and assist in the crossing over of many beings to help them adjust to the idea and remember who they truly are in spirit and move forward in that way. Now, aside from the physical and the astral levels and the spirit levels, in terms of the things you may be learning and the things you may be practicing for what you may call the future of your involvement on the spirit level as a spirit yourself, you also then are presented with many different pathways and many different choices for what might come next. Maybe not even remaining in the idea of the earth plane or the earth focus, so to speak. You may be more aware on that level now of connections that you have made to other dimensions, other extraterrestrial societies. And on the extraterrestrial question, in the process of sleeping and going to the higher spirit levels, you may now be more aware of the agreements you have made with regard to the evolution of the earth, the hybridization agenda, the creation of the hybrid races, the coming of the hybrid children to live among you physically on earth eventually, and the blending together that will allow Earth to evolve forward into what we have termed the sixth hybrid race. But you also, on that level, may be very, very aware of the connections you have made to different extraterrestrial civilizations. You may now start to really allow yourself to play out and experience alternate realities, counterpart selves in those civilizations of Sirius or Pleiades or Arcturus energy or what have you, and allow yourself to really start to incorporate some of that information, experience, and energy more fully into what it is you are experiencing when you wake up in your physical reality on Earth, giving you the opportunity to broaden your perspective that Earth is really truly part of a galactic family. And therefore, again, by clearing out certain belief systems and fear-based ones in your physical personality, can more fully absorb what you're learning on the higher spiritual planes with respect to your connections to extraterrestrial and extra-dimensional civilizations and their experiences. And you can even on that level start to experience how they experience the idea of sleeping and what happens for them when they dream, what happens for them when they travel astrally. Because again, even though all spirit, in a sense, is the same kind of spirit, every different spirit has its own experiences in the reality that they have allowed themselves to dream they are in. And therefore, you can really start seeing the interconnections, the inner workings, the relationships between all the different civilizations that form a kind of galactic family, a galactic soul family, and may even on that level start to really experience the connections of higher levels of the soul, the oversoul, and the connections and extensions it may have with regard to the idea of the different civilizations, as well as parallel reality counterparts that you may be connecting to. All of these things can be going on when you sleep. You are very active because remember, spirit doesn't really sleep. Only the physical form does. And again, this is mostly to regenerate, to recharge your batteries. And the reason for this, again, is because physical reality is something that isn't real. It's something that you have to continue to project. And because it's not really real in the sense of being solid and an actual place, you have to maintain it, so to speak, because it's not your natural state. You require reconnection to your natural state to bring through the energy and maintain the illusion that physical reality is real. And the way that you fundamentally know that physical reality is not real is that it deteriorates, because what is real never deteriorates. And therefore, physical reality, by expressing deterioration, decay, coming apart, segregation in that sense, separation in that sense, that's your first clue that physical reality is nothing more than a projected illusion of consciousness, and that you have to maintain it, even physiologically. You have to upkeep things and so on and so forth. And all of those things that have to do with maintenance and upkeep tell you that physical reality is a temporary manifestation, a projection of your consciousness, and isn't really as real as your true natural self, which requires no maintenance at all. In spirit, you don't sleep. In spirit, you don't eat. And all of these things are simply representative of the fact that this is your natural state, your natural eternal state, your infinite state. And from that state, you can explore many things as we have just outlined, and many other things that we may discuss at a future date. But you are, when you are sleeping, very busy on other levels in a number of different ways. And we are happy to present all of these different ideas for your consideration. And we will also add another exercise at another time that will allow you more opportunity to more consciously be aware of what you're doing on the astral and spirit levels with regard to Earth and extraterrestrial and extra-dimensional connections. But until then, allow yourself to simply, when you drift off to sleep, realize how involved, how connected, and how busy you are when you are not active in physical terms, when you're not really living the physical dream per se. There are many things going on, many exciting things you are learning, many amazing things you are doing, and we will leave you with that for the moment.
Hello, Bashar. My name is Lucy, and I'm French Canadian. And over 30 years ago, Ireland infiltrated my life in many, many aspects. And to this day, I still feel pulled by this country, the land and its history, the energy there. And I would like to understand. So then I started to think about past life regression hypnosis. But then it doesn't make much sense because of your teaching about everything is existing here and now, everything is happening here and now, and that we connect energetically to past lives and future lives also. So I'm baffled. I don't know how to make sense of that connection with Ireland. Can you help me, direct me? I would appreciate your help. Thanks.
Explore whatever technique you wish, because it doesn't matter that you understand the mechanics of it and how it actually works. If you're still attracted to using the idea of a post hypnotic technique for the idea of connecting to a so-called past self, it's all right to do that, and you can simply reconcile both ideas in the idea that it's a permission slip that works for you, that allows you to connect. Whether that person actually exists in the past or simultaneously really makes no difference in terms of the effectiveness of the technique that you may choose to use. So you can understand the mechanics while simply using a technique that may be using the idea of outdated terminology. As long as you feel attracted to use it, it can still work for you.
Hello, Bashar.
Good day, good day.
How are you?
Perfect, and you?
I'm very good, thank you. Happy to talk to you.
And happy to talk to you as well.
So, Bashar, I wanted to talk a little bit more about dreams.
Yes.
I have a few questions. Let's say in the morning, I wake up and I remember that I traveled to Esasani and that I met you and talked to you.
Yes.
So, uh, my spirit can be doing that right now that I'm awake. I just realize
Yes.
when I'm sleeping that I am doing it.
Yes.
Okay, so the part of us that dreams, if I ask who is the dreamer, is the complete part of my being, the higher mind, my spirit, the part that is on physical reality.
It depends on the reason you're doing what you're doing. It can involve different levels. It can involve all of them. It just depends on what you need to access in order to do whatever it is you're doing.
Okay, so a lucid dream, when I wake up in the dream, it just means a realization that I am both a physical and a non-physical being.
And you're coming more from the idea of the higher mind.
Okay. And I was thinking about the different stages during the dream night. If a person sleeps maybe 8 hours, and usually the first hours for me are like I don't really remember anything, and maybe the second to fourth hour dreams are a little spooky, a bit weird, intense.
All right.
And then in the morning, they just seem to be more clear, more soft, more lucid.
Yes, well, you do go through cycles, as your scientists already know, when you do dream. And the cycles can be representative of different aspects of your personality, different things being done, different things being looked at and considered, different things being processed in different ways, depending upon the belief systems that the personality is holding on to. So, yes, of course, you'll go through cycles and have different ways of experiencing the consciousness that you are relative to the things you need to understand about yourself as an earth personality. So that's not unusual.
Okay. And when you talk about going to the temperate level reality, we could sort of go there during the night at any point, every night.
Well, at points that are relevant for you, yes.
Okay. But we do go every night.
No,
And that,
no.
oh,
No, again, all these things may be going on because everything exists at once, but you, from a linear perspective, will not necessarily experience doing the same thing every single night. Again, it depends on what it is you need to do that night. You may spend the entire night in a class.
oh, okay.
That just depends. Now, when I say the entire night, I mean relatively speaking, because time on the spirit level is not what it is in physical reality. So it may seem like a blip relative to your physical sense of time, but it will unspool in your memory when you wake up as the dream that seems to take all night. So remember that when you wake up and you remember a dream, what you are doing is allowing your physical mind to construct its interpretation of the experience that you had using the props and symbols that it is familiar with, at least to the best that it can. So the idea is that what may seem to be a dream that lasted all night may actually only have been constructed in the last few seconds before you woke up. But it will seem to represent something that seemed to happen relative to physical time and spirit time to have happened or taken all night, because you're used to classes taking a long time in your reality, even though it may not have taken that much time in terms of spirit time.
Okay.
Is this making sense to you? Do you understand what we're saying?
Yes, it does.
All right.
And so can we be intentional in terms of before going to sleep, I could somehow direct myself, or that I'll just leave to my spirit side?
You can do either, and yes, you can become more intentional about it, and there are a number of different permission slips that can perhaps allow you to do so. As long as you do them without absolute insistence, just by using whatever permission slips you're attracted to use and allowing it to do whatever it does as being the thing that it necessarily needs to do at that moment, then yes, you can be intentional.
And so, Bashar, when we dream with our and remember dreaming about our parents, our family members, whether they're alive at the moment or not,
Yeah,
usually we're actually interacting with them, or it could be a symbol and it's somebody else.
it can be either. And we can't really give it a percentage because it will depend upon each and every individual in terms of what percentage they may require for that kind of interaction, as opposed to something that they're simply processing.
Okay, I see. And in terms of the dreams that are what we could say, not nightmares, but when we are interacting and we perceive something that is negative, sometimes I'll give you an example.
Yes.
My partner wakes me up sometimes in the middle of the night because I start talking and seem a little afraid. And I usually remember that I'm sort of fighting with a being or sort of.
All right. Well, again, it can be for several reasons. Number one, you may be processing certain kinds of ideas that are representative of fear-based beliefs that you're holding on to in your unconscious mind, and bringing them out in the dream state, in a sense, is safer than living through them in physical reality. Yes.
Okay.
So sometimes nightmares are simply you processing things that you don't necessarily then have to experience in physical terms.
Yeah, it's not like necessarily like we believe that we are interacting negative beings or etc. It doesn't have to be that way.
It doesn't have to be that way. It might be you exploring something that might be considered negative. But again, remember that you're just exploring in an astral state, and nothing can really happen to you in that sense that you don't allow to happen. But again, the physical mind will interpret even an interaction in what you might call a negative energy or a negative reality or a negative being in a way that makes sense to it when you wake up, and therefore can kick you into the idea of survival mode. But that's the physical interpretation of something that wasn't necessarily experienced that way on the astral level.
Okay. Just last night, and this has happened to me before, I have dreams that I'm sort of falling from a balcony or falling from a place, and there's I don't know, a building, and I might fall, and I feel like I'm falling. So is that?
Well, that just could be an interpretation of you going back into your body.
Oh, okay.
Because to you, the interpretation feels like going from a higher level quickly to a lower level, which can be interpreted again by your physical personality as if you're falling, using the symbols it understands, like gravity and falling off a building and so on and so forth. It can be other things,
Yeah.
but I'm saying it could also just be that.
And the opposite of flying, that many of us fly sometimes and remember flying.
Yes, because again, the spirit is unlimited by physical terms like gravity. Therefore, your physical mind will interpret that as flying.
Okay. And
Does that help?
Just one last question about dreams. Have I interacted with you on dreams?
You have interacted with my society's energy, and you have interacted with counterparts you may have in my society. I have, from time to time, been aware of such interactions, But the idea is, for now, we usually allow such interactions directly with us to happen in this format rather than in the dream format for a variety of reasons I will go into at another time.
Okay. Okay. Can I ask a question, a different subject?
Well, that was a question on a different subject.
Just curious about horses.
Yes.
I have dreamed a lot about horses,
All right.
and I found them fascinating. I usually have lucid dreams with horses, at
All
least
right.
3 times that I can remember. What kind of symbol is a horse for?
Well, it depends on the culture that's looking at the animal. But in general, the horse represents the new way. Look at it this way. Indigenous Americans knew of the dog, but they didn't, up to a certain point, know about the horse. When they were introduced to the horse, they called it the greater dog. The dog is representative of service, the horse representative of service in a new way to carry you farther, carry you faster toward yourself, toward your truth. So we'll just leave you with that particular interpretation for now.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bashar. Good day.
Good day.
Bye.
Hey Bashar, it's your boy Rohan, aka RX Mundi from Bucks County, PA. And my question today has to do with law of attraction and manifestation in general. I know there's a really powerful technique where you can embody the energy of your future self now, or to live in the wish fulfilled, as it's often called. But lately I've been having a real challenge with this. I'm just wondering if you could help me out with what are some limiting beliefs that might prevent me from doing this. And yeah, that's about it. And thank you so much, Bashar. Shavai.
Again, it's all back to the formula, because again, it contains all the tools that will allow you to investigate yourself, to discover limiting beliefs that don't serve you and let them go. Again, you must have honest self-examination while you're acting on your passion to the best you can. Don't assume, don't insist, stay in a positive state no matter what manifests, because it needs to be there for some reason that could serve you. If you stay in a positive state, you will get the benefit from it. Constantly examine your belief systems, letting go of the ones that are fear-based or negative that don't serve you. Negative beliefs can be of service depending on how you use them in positive ways. For example, you are obviously using a negative mechanism to limit your consciousness to be able to have a physical reality experience, because you are naturally much bigger than the idea of your physical reality personality. But the idea is that it comes with all the tools necessary to allow you to continue not only to act on your passion, but to continue to examine yourself, to explore yourself, and to hone your skills at having better discernment about what is and isn't relevant for the themes that you chose to explore. Let synchronicity guide you. Remember, there is the synchronicity we call the green light synchronicity that will say, here's an opportunity you are able to act on that will manifest what you need. And here's the synchronicity that says, stop, no, don't go down that path. Don't beat your head against the wall. This is not your path right now. It may become your path later. It may not. But synchronicity using the go and the stop red light mechanism will create a corridor for you to travel down that is representative of the path you chose to be in this life. So rely on the efficacy of the automatic things built into the formula to guide you by simply continuing to act on the formula to the best you can.